Hi guys, welcome back to J2W tutorial. This is the 22nd video tutorial of J2W. So the previous discussion we had, like, we just created a homepage.java servlet, and we have the folder structure ready, like what kind of folder structure to be created. So let's compile this class. So what are the class you have, like homepage.java you have, and you just need to generate a dot for that. Let's try for that. I'm just with the console, and I have this homepage.java within my desktop folder. So I just opened a command prompt. So I'm just using compilation javac homepage.java. So you will be getting errors. So the errors are saying like the servlet class and servlet config and all these are not defined, and these symbols are not found because these libraries we don't have mentioned anywhere. So these are not coming by default with the Java library. These are actually from a external source, which is Java Extract Servlet. So where these particular libraries like Java Extract Servlet, this library actually resides, because these is not directly from our Java library. So these Java Extract libraries are from any container. So if you take Tomcat or something, so each and every container will have a set of servlet API libraries will be contained. Suppose if you are using container as Tomcat, then Tomcat libraries will contain the servlet API.jar. Or if you are using any other containers like WebLogic or something, those libraries also will contain these libraries, servlet related libraries. Then you can able to access the classes within this servlet API. So that if you have access, then only you can able to compile our servlet program, because which is using Java Extract Servlet packages. So for that, I just need to download a container which is Tomcat. So let me download Tomcat 8 download. So you can download any version of the Tomcat. This actually lists out within the tomcat.apache.org. So within this, you can have the binaries. So if you want, you can download the 7 of Tomcat, or a 9 version of Tomcat, or 8 version. It's up to you. You can download any version of the Tomcat. So if you click on particular version, then you will get the download links, which is there in the binary distributions. You just download the zip file. So the zip file will be started. It will be very less amount. So I'm just cancelling it because I had this download already available within my download folder. I just downloaded it. Once you download is done, then you need to look for the libraries where this library is actually available. Just extract this. So we have extracted it. Let me move this folder to desktop itself, so I can have all the files at the same place. So I have this Tomcat, and once you open the Tomcat folder, you can see different folders. So as you see, we can see the web apps folder also, which we mentioned in the diagram. The web apps folder also available, which actually we need to place our project. Before that, we just need to compile our class. For that, I'm just going to lib folder, where you can see the servlet API.jar. So this is the jar we need to configure in our compilation program. Let me copy this URL. I'm just going back to our compilation window, just clearing this. I'm just setting that library to our path, which is our servlet API.jar. The way to do this is set path. So if you are working on Linux machine or Mac machine, then you have to use export command. It's a Windows because I'm using set command. Set path equal to, I just want to append the path, I don't want to replace it. For that, I'm just using path the current value and just append with the semicolon and paste your folder which is Tomcat lib and your jar servlet API.jar. The same thing you have to do for class path also. Set class path, there's no spaces, is equal to use a existing class path and append the new value for that with the library and servlet.api.jar. Now we can try compiling our homepage.java, which is having our servlet code. Let's compile this code. Java C homepage.java. So, the compilation got succeed and the class file got generated. Now we have the class file ready and the container ready. The Tomcat we have downloaded, the container ready, and we have the class file ready. Let's move here. So let me keep these Java files and in project files in a separate folder, which is named as source code. So here I'm just keeping it. So now I have the source code ready and the container ready. What I have to do is I just need to paste the .class file within this project. For that, first I have to do is I need to create this particular folder structure, which is our demo folder. So let me create a folder which is actually our project name. Any project name we can put. So let me name it as demo. So in our case, it's a project name is demo. So this is the project. So this is our project folder, which is demo. I just created an empty folder, which is demo. Inside this, what we have to do, we have to create one more folder named as web-inf. Make sure you should create the folder with the same name. Just creating web-inf. Just created it, and inside that what I need to have classes folder and lib folder. Lib folder, as I mentioned, it's optional. You can, if you want, you can create it, or you can just leave it. So let me create folders. The one is classes and the other one is lib. So I'm just keeping it, even if I don't have any libraries. I just want to keep the folder as empty. So if something gets added, I'll add it in the lib. So I have created classes folder and lib folder. The second step is we need to copy the .class file to within the classes folder. Let me go to the desktop. In the source code, I have this class. Let me copy this to our demo project. Within the demo project, web-inf, and inside the classes. So I just placed this homepage.class within the classes folder. Now our class is ready, and the last step is we need to configure web.xml. For that, what I'm doing is where the web.xml reside within web-inf folder directly. So here I just need to create a new file which is web.xml. So I just created a new file. Let me recheck spaces are there or not. No spaces. So I just created a web.xml. Now we have to add our URLs and all within the web.xml. Let me edit this. So it's empty file. Here there are certain tags you have to follow to configure this particular URL, the home page URL. What the URL is supposed to mention, this particular, to mention this we have to follow certain steps. So the web.xml is having a set of tags we have to follow with them. The first tag, the root tag, will be web app. So web app means it contains all the web application within it. Open tag and close tag. The next step will be having servlets declared within this. So within servlet declaration, we have two tags are available. The first one is servlet and servlet, and the second tag will be servlet mapping. Open and close. Servlet mapping. So these are all two tags are important for declaring any one servlet. Suppose if you want two servlet, then you need to have two servlet declarations like this. Suppose in our case, like for home page, one servlet, one declaration, and about us, we have to declare one more annotation, which is two servlet declarations we have to mention in the web app. So for now, let me go with the one servlet, which is the home page itself. So within these tags, the servlet tag, we have to mention what is the name of the servlet. Let's mention the name of the servlet. The name of the servlet is servlet name. Open and close tags. Make sure, guys, open and close tags should be proper. And you can give any name with this, because this for these two tags, whatever the binding is, this servlet name is the binding. Suppose if you have n number of servlet declarations, right? For these two belongs to one particular servlet, means these is the relationship. The servlet name is the relationship. So whatever the servlet name you're mentioning for the declaration within the servlet tag, the servlet mapping also, you should mention the same name. Suppose I can mention home page servlet, or simply home page, anything you can give, or servlet, you can give any name. The same name has to give in the servlet mapping, then only these two will match. So these is the first tag you have to mention in both the tags within servlet and servlet mapping. The other one is like what is the servlet class? So the servlet class name you have to mention here. What's our servlet class? We just moved it, so it's asking for reopen it because it's there in the source code now. So what's our servlet? It's a home page. So here we don't have any package specifications. So suppose if you have any package, or if you mention like package com.org .servlet or something, if you declare any my servlet or something, if you declare any package, then in web.xml also you should specify the whole package. Suppose if your package is com.google.my servlet or something homepage, if you have some package within this in your class, then you should mention the whole package itself in the service servlet class declaration. So in that case, your class will look like so. If you have this kind of declaration, then you should mention the whole package. So as we don't have any package declaration here, I'm just removing this. I'm just mentioning the servlet class itself. And we are done with the servlet tag, which is servlet name and servlet class. Now we have to mention the URL, where we have to mention this home page URL, because these are where actually the end user is giving. They will just simply type like a home page. Then we need to navigate to this particular servlet. That declaration we can declare within the servlet mapping, saying URL pattern. So what is the URL pattern we are getting? That we have to mention here. The URL pattern here is /homepage. /homepage. That's it. So we are done with the declaration within the web app, web.xml. The first one is web app we need to declare, and within that we need to configure two tags. One is servlet tag, other one is servlet mapping tag. Within the servlet tag we need to mention the servlet name. The same name we have to mention within the servlet mapping. Then only these two will be related to one particular servlet. And we have to mention the class. What is the servlet class? If you have a package, then we have to mention the fully qualified package name with the class name. And the URL, what are the URL is supposed to call, or the client is supposed to call, that URL you can mention here. You can mention any name over here. With the same name, you have to refer in the client browser, like Chrome or something. Any browser, if you are calling with this name, you have to call it /homepage, you should call it. So that's we are done with the web.xml, and let's see what else is pending within our diagram. So we just created a demo folder where let me go to our project. So demo folder, we just created it. Within that web-inf folder we created. Within web-inf we created folders like classes and lib folder we created, and within the classes folder we created homepage.class, which we the generated output we just copied this bytecode here, and we created a web.xml within web-inf. So within web-inf web.xml we configured with the servlet declarations with the servlet name, class, and URL patterns. So we are done with this, and for now we don't have any external HTML files and JSP files. For that reason, within demo project I don't have other files. Like if you have any HTML files or images or any JSP files, you can declare within the demo folder itself, directly within the project folder itself. So this is our project. The next step is we need to put this whole demo folder within the web apps folder within the Tomcat container. Let me move this folder, let me cut it, and I'm looking for web apps folder within the Tomcat. So here it is within the web apps. I'm just pasting it here. So now the folder, my project is available within the web apps folder within the container with all the structures. So now we are ready with the application is placed within the web apps folder, which is our Tomcat container web apps folder. Now the next step is we have to start our server. We need to start our server to make our to test our application whether it is working or not. So the expected output will be it's a welcome to Servlet homepage. So these output we are expecting once we started the server and once we tested it. So let's go and start this. So if you see in the bin folder, you will be getting the startup related files. If it is a Linux, then you can use startup.sh, and if it is a Windows, then you can use startup.bash. Then let's run this program. So this is terminating because I'll show you why it is terminating. Let me go to this folder because Java home is not found, it seems. Startup.batch. See, it is telling JRE home is not found, which is Java home. So we should mention Java home in the environment variables, then only your application will start it. So let me set this Java home in environment variable, then we can try starting our application. For that I'm just going for advanced variables and the environment variable. Here I just need to add Java home, which is Java home. We should mention JRE position where the JRE resides. Let me go to the Java folder. Within this I have JRE. You just need to copy this root URL and paste it within the properties, system properties. So these are how you can set the Java home. Now the Java home is added to your environment variables. Now this is accessible everywhere. So let me rerun this. I just need to close this window. I just need to reopen it so that all the variables will be loaded. Or you can run it directly. You don't need to come here every time. You don't need to run it. So we just go to the Tomcat folder, the bin folder. So I just came to bin folder after setting the Java home property. I'm just running this patch. Let's see what will happen. Now the Tomcat is starting. Once the Java home is ready, which is pointing to JRE location, then the Tomcat is ready and it is listening with 8080 port. So this is the port it is listening, and the host will be the local host. Let me open that. Local host 8080. So this is the port it is running here. So let me open this. So now we got our Tomcat ready. Let me close all other windows. So it's running in localhost 8080. Now we have to see where our application resides, because we placed the, let me clear these values so it will be clear. So now we have the Tomcat ready and we just need to look for the project file where this our project is placed, because we placed within the web apps, right, our application, which is our demo. So we just need to look for this project where this is actually resides. For that, you just need to go to manage app. So it will ask for password. Now we didn't configure any passwords and all. By default, there's no passwords available with us. And for that, we just need to say create a new password, which is actually used for here logging in, so that we can able to see the apps. For that, what I'm doing is I'm just stopping the Tomcat again, and I'm just going to the Tomcat folder itself. Inside that, you have a folder called as configuration. Within the configuration, you can have a file called Tomcat users, which is the place where you can add a new users and all. Let me open this file. So far there is no users are available. Now I'm just adding a new user. With the tag username equal to, I'm just giving admin, password equal to admin, and we should have a role for each user. Suppose here you can see, right, for each user they have a specific role. You can take the same syntax over here. You should have a one role for that. Let me take a role. Roles will be, I'm telling, manager GUI. So these are the GUI we are interacting. So I'm just giving manager GUI. So this is the manager. I'm just giving the GUI access for that. Let me declare the role like this. Role name equal to the same name you have to give it here. So for this manager GUI, I'm just giving access for user saying admin and the password with admin. So let me restart the Tomcat now in the bin folder. The startup.batch, I'm just starting it. So now Tomcat is started with 8080. Let me load this. Now we can try our users with manage app, where admin. Something went wrong here. I didn't close this tag, that's the reason it's showing error. Let me close this. So either you can close this way, or you can close using /user. So either way you can close it. Either you can put slash over here itself, and you don't need to write this block of code, or you can put the whole user tag itself. Let me do it in one way. Let me restart the Tomcat. I just saved it. I'm just starting the Tomcat again, the startup.batch. I'm just double clicking on that. So the Tomcat is starting. Let's get started with 8080 port. So now we can give our credentials in manager. Now we got the home page ready, the credentials. So user is configured and it is accessible. So we got the permission to access. Now we have our apps are ready. So if you see, the demo as deployed already, because whenever you copy and paste your folder and once you start the server, it will actually loads all the applications. That is the reason our demo is added and it is started by default. So we don't need to start it manually. If you want, you can stop it here, and again if you want, you can start it here. You can do all the operations. If you do undeploy, then the project folder will be deleted. So now I'm not doing, because I didn't take any backup for that. So let me start this, and the demo is already started. And now we can see, if you want to access the project, the way to do this is you just need to open that link. So our project got opened. It's telling the 404, because with the root URL we didn't have configured anything. We just configured with the home page. The home page with the demo web.inf web.xml. It is actually looking for is there anything for the root folder, because we don't have any root folder configured. That is the reason it's giving 404. To access our home page, we just need to give home page along with the demo, or the project name and the home page. Then if you give it, then you will get the response, what are the output we have written within the JSP, which is welcome to Servlet homepage. This response you can expect here. Let me run this. See, now you got the response saying welcome to Servlet homepage. So this is how you can able to configure your Tomcat, and you can load your application. And suppose if you don't want this port to be useful, if you want to change the port also, you can able to do that by going to the Servlet, the configuration within the Tomcat. So there is a configuration folder. There you have server.xml. Within the server.xml, you can configure your port. This is where the port is defined, 8080, and you can change this port accordingly, whatever you want, 9090 or 1010, 1010, whatever you want. It should be 4-digit length, and you can change the port here. You can run it. The reason why I'm telling is because sometimes 8080 port is occupied by some other servers. Like suppose if you install any database software or something, by default this port will be taken for most of the softwares, and this is occupied to some other. Then you can change the port here. Then you can rerun your Tomcat. Then with the latest port, you can see the output here. So these are very basic example of creating a servlet and deploying into a server, which is a Tomcat in our case, and test the application. The first one is the host name and port. What is the port it is starting? It will show in the console itself. Starting console itself, it will show what is the port it is starting, and your project name, and the web URL, the page URL, means which is the servlet URL. What is the URL you mentioned here? You can just give that URL here, and you will be getting that respective servlet. So it will actually, this particular host is available within the localhost 80. So it founds that URL, then it will look for demo project within the web apps. Within the Tomcat, it will look for the demo project, where is the demo folder is available within this. So once this demo is found, then it will actually look for the web.xml within that. Then within the web.xml, it will look for the homepage where the homepage URL is configured or not. If the homepage is configured, then it will look for the servlet class. If the homepage is not found, then it will actually throw 404 error, like how we saw earlier. Suppose if we give about us, so this page is not configured in our project, so that is the reason it's giving 404. We have only home page, that's the reason we're getting home page. So once this is found, this page servlet is configured, then it will actually go to the classes and it will execute that particular servlet, because we mapped that web.xml configuration, like this particular URL to be point to the this particular class, which is a homepage.class. Then this particular servlet class will be executed, and whatever the output we are generating within the servlet, that output will be returned back to the container, and the container will return back to the browser, which is what we are seeing here. So these are the entire flow will be like, from end to end flow will be. And let's discuss more classes and more advanced classes other than the servlet in further tutorials. And make sure, guys, this is a very important topic, and you should remember the directories, where and all we need to have all the directories, and how to create a folder structure, and the configurations, and the errors whatever you're getting, right? When you're running this Tomcat, you got the Java home error, Java home property is not found, and if you want to manage app, then you have to add new users within the Tomcat users, and these are all the things you have to handle it, and you should remember it. If you remember these many things for the interview, that will be great help for you to clear the interview. So let's wind up here, and the next tutorial we will be discussing about more servlet classes, not like the default servlet interface. We'll be looking for the predefined generated servlet classes like generic servlet and HTTP servlet, how actually they'll avoid us to code this much lines of code. So with the latest classes with the servlet implementations, we don't need to write this much lines of code. We can simply write our service method itself. So that makes our life easy. Let's discuss in further tutorials. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.